posted November 15th, 2018. November 15th, 2018. So this is almost 4 years ago to the date. Almost 4 years ago to the date. So it's just going to be 8 days later. November 15th, 2018. In Antonito, you're going to have a tragic shooting. Byron Duran, 26-year-old Byron Duran of Antonito, was at the hamburger stand of Felix Gallegos on the early morning of September 1st. November 15th is when Crista Newmyer Olsen is releasing her office's decision on Wednesday not to file charges against the Antonito business owner Felix Gallegos. I got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt one time. I got pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt. He gave me a warning, but that's basically all Felix Gallegos got. Oh, Felix Gallegos. All right. If somebody else is in your restaurant robbing you, go ahead and shoot him and say you're sorry and get the hell on out of here. Say I'm sorry. I ain't going to do that. All right. Just get the hell on out of here. So it's 2018. This is an important case. All these cases are important, actually. They're notorious, but they should be used as examples for, Antonito and the San Luis Valley going forward. At the time, Crista Newmyer Olsen was the DA, and I think she just got in as the DA. And now there's a new DA and then another new one, and now there's an election. She's a judge. Crista Newmyer Olsen is now a judge in the SLV. So this is good case law. This is good case law. So here are some of the details. Felix Gallegos owns a hamburger stand. It's right there on Main Street as soon as you go around the curve, right next to the library and that defunct gas station. I'm not sure what's going on with that gas station. It was owned by a guy, then they went bankrupt, and then it was bought by somebody, but then you could just use the credit card. I'm not for sure exactly. Around 5 in the morning, Felix Gallegos said he was alerted by the security system in his small restaurant named G6 Hamburger Stand. So the security system in his small restaurant alerted him he's at his home, right? That an intruder had broken in. Felix Gallegos jumps into action, tells his wife to call 911, gets to his property to investigate. Well, he grabbed a gun, right? Grabbed a gun, told the wife to call the 911, goes to the hamburger stand. I'm not sure how far he is. I'm assuming he's in Antonito. So he has to drive, 6 blocks? He drives 6 blocks down the road. Now, Felix Gallegos comes inside. It's right there on Main Street. So how, absolutely brazen is this 26-year-old Byron Garcia Duran. Byron Garcia Duran just brazenly goes into the restaurant at 5 in the morning, breaks in, and how much is he going to take at the restaurant? What's he going to take, a toaster? What's he going to take, a fryer? And what's he going to get for a fryer on the street? What's a fryer going for on the street these days? $20? Maybe he would have taken it home and used it. How much did he expect to score? Was he really riddled out on meth or crack or something? Because this isn't going to be a huge lick. 5 a.m. November, so it's already been closed, right? They're only open during the summer. So they didn't make any money. They didn't have any inventory. They didn't have any hamburgers. There was no... What the heck was he looking for? Bunch of styrofoam cups? What are those going for on the streets these days? So Felix Gallegos goes to the hamburger stand and he finds Byron Garcia Duran right there, 26 years old. I'm not sure how old Felix Gallegos is, but it seems like he's much older. 40s, 50s. So Byron Garcia Duran is inside the hamburger stand. Felix Gallegos comes upon him. Ha! You're caught. I got you. Nope. I caught you. He's got a gun on him, right? You stay right where you're at. I've already called the police. Stay where you're at. And then, according to Felix Gallegos, 26-year-old Byron Garcia, Duran exited the door and ran at the restaurant owner, threatening him. I'm gonna kill you! Felix Gallegos fired at Duran, hitting him twice, and killed him. The autopsy report of Duran's body revealed he had amphetamines and opiates in his system. So he took some Percocets. He took some morphine. Amphetamines, is that meth? That's meth, right? Or is that Yellow Jackets? Caffeine pills. Amphetamines. Kind of sounds like meth. Amphetamine. I don't. So I'm not sure how drugged out he is. Opiates, that's kind of a depressant, right? It kind of just releases all your pain. Just gets rid of all your pain. Whatever happened to Oxycontins? They used to be all over the place. On Wednesday of this week, the DA's office announced they would not file any charges for Duran's death. According to DA Crista Newmyer Olsen, Gallegos' actions met all the requirements of affirmative defense. Her report said, under Colorado law, there is simply no duty to retreat when one is not the initial aggressor. No kidding. So if you're peacefully walking your dogs in the backyard and somebody with the big rig is the initial aggressor, trying to get hold of you, trying to contact you, slowing you down, hey! Prosecutors say a jury likely would find Felix Gallegos was entitled to defend himself under Colorado law, and they could not prove otherwise. According to prosecutors, a surveillance system notified Gallegos somebody was inside the hamburger stand at 5 a.m. September 1st. Felix's wife called the police. He went to the restaurant in Antonito, which is about 28 miles south of Alamosa along the Colorado-New Mexico border. Gallegos told police he yelled that the intruder should stay inside because he had called 911. Did he drive from Alamosa? Is that what we're supposed to insinuate? He said a man soon ran out of the door and came towards him. Gallegos said he fired. Police said 26-year-old Byron Duran was killed. An autopsy found that he was shot twice, had amphetamines and opiates in his system. Now, I had heard that one of the bullets, right, he fired twice. One bullet goes in front, the other bullet goes in the back. Is it possible he's running towards him, he shoots him once on the side, and he, spins him around, and then he shoots him in the back? Because in the Wild West, if you shoot somebody in the back, because it didn't go to a jury, because they did all this, the system buried it. My God, if the system is on your side, this billion-dollar boondoggle, this behemoth, this Titanic, if it's on your side, it will do everything it can to bury and obfuscate, and the system does not trust the system at all. If the system trusts the system, why not just put the person through the system? If Felix Gallegos is not guilty, a jury of his peers would say he's not guilty. You don't have to spare Felix Gallegos there's a dead body. Is there probable cause? I'm pretty sure everybody could go arrest Felix Gallegos. At the time, there's a dead body. So is there probable cause that a crime may have occurred? Yes. Yes. If anything, you should be, safe, not sorry. Arrest him, put him in jail. And let him put a bond up. Take his guns away. $5,000 bond, take his guns away. And then he goes through a disposition, preliminary hearing, pre-trial readiness, conference, the whole shebang. A motions hearing. And if he drove from 30 miles, 30 minutes, so he was in there at 5 a.m., he was in there for 30 minutes, this is the worst thief in the world. Is it not? So he said, stay in there, called 911. The man ran out of the door and came towards him. If he's in the doorway, right? But if he's in the doorway in a way that he is attacking this person, Felix Gallegos, and he doesn't have a duty to retreat, what's he supposed to jump out of the robber's way? Felix Gallegos said he fired. Police said 26-year-old Byron Duran was killed. An autopsy found Duran was shot twice in amphetamines and opiates. Okay, so what are we trying to say here? First of all, Felix Gallegos shot and killed a guy, right? It's kind of crazy he didn't even get a little tiny charge. Some people get seatbelt tickets. That's a charge. That's a $50 fine. He didn't even get a $50 fine. He didn't even get a ticket. He killed a guy. He took another person's life. He snuffed that person out. And even if he is justified, it seems like he's justified, right? For all intents and purposes, Byron Duran shouldn't have been in there robbing him. And I'm not for sure if this guy could have, chased him down and tackled him. We would have liked to have seen a non-fatal resolution to the situation. But Felix Gallegos wasn't arrested. He didn't have to put up a $5,000 bond. He wasn't hounded for months to get a lawyer. He didn't have to read all of the criminal procedure and the evidence and the Constitution and Bill of Rights and the only reason the judge is trying to get me, that's Alonzo Payne. Alonzo Payne was trying to get me a lawyer when I had Jim Dostal. I thought Jim Dostal was going to be my lawyer. Alonzo Payne had announced to the court in open court that he was going to get a plea bargain deal right then and there. That's weird, Alonzo Payne. I just got a lawyer. That means I'm playing the game that you're saying I'm playing. You've been telling me it's for my interest. Yeah, get a lawyer. It's really for your interest. Get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer. Ultimately, Alonzo Payne and Michael Gonzalez, they both knew that they could twist Jim Dostal's arm. Jim Dostal would twist my arm. And then I would have to do a plea bargain. And that's actually brilliant for the judge to get his own lawyer to fuck him over. And then he's kind of stuck, isn't he? It's like, well, shit. Now I want to fire this guy now. Now the guy, he ain't doing, I got to fire him. What do you mean I'm stuck with him? He just fucked me over. You were trying to get me to then he just did the... So does that mean a pro se defender is more powerful than a lawyer? A judge can somehow threaten a lawyer in Colorado with what? Some kind of merit system. I'll give you 2 demerits. And then they won't be a lawyer no more? Is there something... Consilja and Consilja was pissed off because apparently when you sign on to a case, the judge makes, locks you into the case. Which that's not fair. They charge $4,500 per appearance, so, why not get a lawyer, throw him in there, just argue the subpoenas and see where you'll go. And then, all right, that's all I could afford. Thank you. But that's our justice system, to fatigue anybody who's arrested into a plea bargain? That's stupid. Tupac was ticketed for jaywalking. Tupac was charged. Hey, were you walking across the street? That wasn't at a damn crosswalk. The damn crosswalk is 6 blocks away. Well, you gotta walk 6 blocks. Man, my house is here. The store is right there. I'm not gonna walk 6 blocks and come 6 blocks back. That doesn't make any sense. Plus, jaywalking isn't illegal in Louisville. You hear me, LMPD? Jaywalking isn't illegal. So it's just kind of crazy that Felix Gallegos can shoot and murder Byron Duran, and RIP to Byron Duran. Straight up murder a person. I fired a couple warning shots and told the hooligan to get out of my neighborhood. And the right-wing fascist authoritarian piles of shit are shitting a brick. They're not just shitting a brick, they're shitting about 17 bricks. All dilapidatedly. Now, I want to talk about this case, like I said, because it's important precedent, but in terms of CRS 18-1704, we do have a Make My Day law, and next I'm going to just read these 2 parts of it, because it's 18-1704 has part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, in part 2, 2, B, and C is what I'm going to, well, hell, I'll just read all of 2, 2A, B, and C. So, 18-1704, the use of physical force in defense of a person. Number 2, deadly physical force may be used only if a person reasonably believes a lesser degree of force is inadequate. And A, the actor has reasonable ground to believe and does believe that he or another person is in imminent danger of being killed or of receiving great bodily injury. Everybody seems to totally agree on that. If you're about to be murdered, if you're about to be killed, if you're about to receive great bodily injury, say if I'm in a big rig and I jerk the vehicle and I act like I'm going to run into you, and you're only, within a foot or two of it, and you think that there's imminent danger of being killed or of receiving great bodily injury. A big rig, if it jerks up, into your yard, acts like it's going to drive into your dogs or house or you, if there's imminent danger of being killed or receiving great bodily injury, you have a right to defend yourself up to the point of deadly physical force. That's A. Now B, the other person is using or reasonably appears about to use physical force against an occupant of a dwelling or business establishment while committing or attempted to commit burglary as defined in sections 18.4, 202, and 204. Now this one should be called the Make My Day Law. Before, when this first passed, there was like different sections or something, and so the Make My Day Law is kind of the castle law, because it was, I think they were trying to say, we can't pass it, but then people liked, well, yeah, Make My Day Law, I like that. This one sounds like a Make My Day Law, because in Sudden Impact, you had 3 thieves who goes into a restaurant, 3 thieves that's got guns and is armed and telling everybody, shut up, and then armed and then taking the money and then about to run away. One of them grabs a hostage. So the whole situation with the guns already pulled and just, waving all over the place. Here, another person is about to receive imminent danger, being killed, or receiving great bodily injury. So already you're defending a person. But specifically with A. With B, you're defending a person inside of a business. You're defending a person in an establishment that's being, burglarized. And the burglar is also threatening not just a business, but a person. And then C, which I think if you put them all together, the other person is committing or reasonably appears about to commit kidnapping as defined in section 18.301 or 302. Robbery as defined in section 18.4, 301 and 302 is sexual assault as set forth in section 18.3.402 or in section 18.3.403. 18.343 as it existed prior to July 1st, 2000, or assault as defined in sections 18.3.202 and 18.3.203. So you could defend a person if you or them are about to be killed or receive great bodily injury. You could defend a business. You could defend a person in a business if that business is being robbed. Or if there's a robbery, a sexual assault, an assault, or a kidnapping. So if you put all that together, they were robbing the place. It was clear that he was robbing the place, as Byron Duran was robbing the place. My question is, when he's running out, is he running right towards Felix Gallegos? How far is Felix Gallegos away from the door? Did he just drive up to the sidewalk and he just says, hey, you can't come out here, there's only one doorway? And so he was going to bust through the doorway, and he's, clearly going to the right. And then Felix Gallegos just shoots the guy, point blank, even though he saw that he was turning to the right. I heard there was one shot in the front, one in the back. And because it wasn't presented to a jury, I am going to kind of wonder. I'll wonder. If a jury had acquitted him, then that means both sides put on a case and all the evidence, and I'm sure it was nerve-wracking, but eventually a jury looked at all of the evidence and said, no, he did right and good. Felix Gallegos is a good man, a good Samaritan. He's a good old regular Johnny Hurley. He's a hero. He's a hero. So we're going to acquit heroes and apologize to him for, inconvenience him, and hope that more people are like Felix Gallegos. That's if the system believed in their own system. If the system believed in their own system, they know that an innocent person would be acquitted. They would know that an innocent person, a jury, would identify them, give a not guilty verdict, and now you just ran a nice, clean jury trial. Everybody got to see what was going on. We know that the process and the system works here. If there's ever a time to have a jury trial, it's when somebody kills and murders another person. There's another dead person. So ultimately, it looks like Felix Gallegos, if he's clearly robbing the place. Kidnapping, no. Sexual assault, no. Assault, maybe. If he's running out, I'm going to kill. It just doesn't seem logical if you're inside, but none of it seems logical, right? So it just seems like there's a smidgen of a chance, and so that means you would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and since there is a smidgen of a chance that I thought that Byron Duran ran to the right, because the autopsy said he had a bullet hole in the back, right? That's not beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know. Because you could get shot one and then spin and then get shot in the back. I don't know. I'd like to know how the bullet holes exactly were. So there's Make My Day, 18-1-704. These are the affirmative defense statutes. When you have affirmative defense, there's defense of person, defense of property, and defense of home, just like the Article 2, Section 13.